Hey folks, like I do on most Saturdays, I'm here to discuss an episode of a superhero animated series. Today I will be talking about the Batman the Animated Series episode Deep Freeze. If you haven't seen the episode, you should do so now, or suffer the spoilers. Or if you don't mind spoilers, sit tight as I quickly sum up the episode before I get into the review itself. This world's version of Walt Disney kidnaps Mr. Freeze because he wants to be immortal. Apparently, when your body is incapable of surviving outside of freezing temperatures, that means that you age much slower or something stupid like that. So Mr. Freeze gives Walt Disney the same treatment of chemicals he got in exchange for his wife, who we all thought was dead this whole time since Heart of Ice. In addition to Disney wanting immortality via the Mr. Freeze process, he also wants to freeze Gotham City for some reason. Batman and Robin stop him, Mr. Freeze and Nora float away on an iceberg, cue credits. So this episode is absurd, and its only real saving grace is that Mr. Freeze is in it. His gravitas he brings to the scenes he's in really elevates this, and even with the rest of the episode being so goofy, I am still captivated by Freeze's plight, though it's a shame that he is more of a plot device here and doesn't get to do much beyond yearn for his wife to be cured. I mentioned in my Heart of Ice review that it'd be really difficult to make Mr. Freeze a recurring character in this show, since that episode seemingly killed off his wife. Well, they didn't kill her off, but they don't really make him a recurring character either. He's not the villain of the episode, and while he is the best thing about the episode, he doesn't get a whole lot to do other than choose not to freeze Gotham City. So if he's the best bit of the episode and isn't as good as he was in Heart of Ice, then that should indicate how awful this episode is. We've got the Walt Disney guy, which, okay, it's a funny little nod to the urban legend that Walt Disney's head is cryogenically frozen so that he can return in our hour of greatest need. So I didn't mind that. And his motivation isn't even that bad, at least some of it. An older person wanting eternal life because they're afraid of death, it's not especially original, but motivations that make sense usually aren't. But what's weird to me is everything else about the episode. The guy wants to encase all of Gotham City in ice. Why? So he can live in Gotham? He tells all the citizens of his own personal theme park / city that Gotham is a scary place and it's better to live in Oceania. And by the way, these guys are all totally okay with him murdering an entire city, which was also really strange. So why not just be the immortal ruler of Oceania? This freezing the city subplot seems like something they would throw into the episode so that Batman and Robin get involved in the plot. But they're already involved in the plot because Walt Disney kidnaps Mr. Freeze. This whole threat makes less than zero sense and feels incredibly shoehorned in. And speaking of things that make no sense, we have Walt Disney's city of Oceania. It's almost halfway into the episode before we even find out this city even exists. Up to this point, we're just told that this guy is a theme park director, and when we see a picture of Oceania, I would just assume that it was a theme park. But no, apparently it's an actual self-sustaining city that is a stone's throw from Gotham. This seems like something that should have been an entire episode all by itself. Like, you have one of Bruce's billionaire socialite friends who wants to build a city / think tank with like-minded politicians and scientists, and then charge the wealthiest people in the world to live there. But Batman has to stop him because he kidnaps people who don't want to live there or something like that. Just having a brand new self-sustaining city show up halfway into the episode as if it's no big thing is weird, even for an episode as silly as this one is. Overall, this episode is awful. Maybe the second worst in the series right after Fire from Olympus. It almost feels like this episode exists solely to set up the Sub-Zero direct-to-TV movie, except this is 4 years before that movie even came out, so I doubt they were thinking of that when they made this episode. So those are my thoughts on this episode. But what did you guys think? Like it? Hate it? Let me know in the comments below. And if you did like this video, I do reviews like this every Saturday. Next week I'll be talking about the final episode of Batman the Animated Series, and then the week after, I'll begin my discussions on the new Batman Adventures. And I also do other videos throughout the week, so be sure to check those out if you want to. In the meantime, I'll see you guys later. Have a great rest of the day.